Hey guys, Civics Boy here, and this is going to be a video on layer 1 of the Cooler Master HAF 922 build that we're doing. This is a pretty straightforward setup right here for the layer 1 cable management. It's going to include all the fan controller cables, power switches and all that stuff. So I'm going to try to keep this video again short. Here we have, it's kind of hard to see because it's dark, but they're the power and reset button cables along with the USB, the front USB cables, which we all sleeved. So that's running down over here through the cable management holes that we drilled, or we pre-drilled before we got it powder coated, the case. Up here we have the fan controller cables coming up from the top from that hole that we also pre-drilled before powder coating. It's right up there. There's a hole that we drilled, and those fan controller cables are coming up, being hidden behind the top bezel of the case, coming down and kind of snaking through right here, being held down by the cable tie or zip tie anchors, and snaking out. It controls 5 fans. We have the fan 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here, and fan 1 is actually right here, kind of hidden away right here for the front intake fan. So those are all the fans. So we also got all the sleeve or the cables for the power for the fan, all sleeved as well. This is the 8-pin CPU power extension, which is also sleeved individually. Each wire is sleeved. We bought this from NZXT, and also all the cold cathode wires, which we have the cold cathode box right here. All of those cables are also sleeved, you know, from the cold cathode wire coming from the actual cathode itself, and also the power cables and all that stuff. The only ones that we did not see that we are using is the power cords for the fan controllers, which we didn't sleeve. So that's just going to be hanging out over here. And all these cables right here on the side, these are all the cables we're not using, and they are the front panel audio and front panel SATA that we're not using. So that's all like tucked away right here and zip tied together, being held down by the zip tie anchors. And also these are the fan controller temperature sensors we're not going to be using, because we're going to be using real temp, I believe. And from what I hear, these temperature sensors aren't that accurate anyways, so we're not going to be using them. So these are also zip tied and anchored down by the zip tied anchors, or zip tie anchors. We are using the Asus Maximus 3 formula board, and on the CPU cutout for the HAF 922, it's not as bad as the Cooler Master CM692, but it is still a bit off center, to where you would still have to remove the motherboard in order to replace your CPU heatsink. But again, it's not as bad as the CM692. So that's how it looks like. All the cables are running through our pre-drilled cable management holes that we cut out before we got the case powder coated. And let me go ahead and show you the other side and show you how it looks like. Stand by. Alright guys, so here's a view of the interior of the case. I have both side panels taken off so you can see where all the holes are at and whatnot. It's looking pretty good right now. I mean, like, yeah, we don't have all the cables in, but from what I am estimating, we're going to pretty much hide a lot of the cables, with the exception of a few. So let me give you guys a closer look at it. Again, there is the V8 CPU cooler that we got, and all of those cable management holes, the 8-pin CPU power and all, the fan power. Is kind of hard to see, but you don't really see it because they're all sleeved. though right down there. If you see, we have some cables coming in through one of the holes that we pre-drilled. I didn't put the rubber grommet like this because it, you know, didn't really matter because it was pushing all of these little things aside anyways, so I figured just take it off and have it look. You're not going to be able to see it anyways once the side panel is on and it's coming up. These are the front panel switches plugging into right there. We've got the cold cathode coming in. I know it's kind of hard to see, sorry guys. And it's plugged into the cold cathode switch back here. And let me see what others. We got the Extreme FX XFi sound card, daughter card. Comes with the Asus Maximus 3. And we have the cold cathode right here. And the wire of it's actually on the top. Now we're gonna hide that cable a lot better once we get everything in and stuff. And we ended up plugging in the CPU fan into the socket on the motherboard itself because the NZXT Sentry LX doesn't have a 4-pin fan plug, so it's not going to fit in any of the plugs. So we just ended up plugging it into the motherboard, which is okay because for those of you who do have the V8, it actually comes with its own little fan controller switch right here that we put on the side. And with that cable, that's one of the cables you're going to be seeing. It's right there, and we're going to try to hide it as best we can, but because of the length of it, it's not as long to where we can route it behind the motherboard tray. It's probably going to be shown like that, which is okay. Then there are the R4s. We got one right there, and we got two up on the top. And like I said, we haven't ran any of the SATA data cables yet, and we're still waiting on his card reader. And he has an old 60 gigabyte Maxter hard drive that he's going to use for, you know, just whatever, I don't know, naked photos, who knows. And that is the back side of the case. Oh, and Cooler Master is sending us rubber grommets. They're actually sending me 6, which is really cool of them. I finally got a hold of them last week or something like that, and they said they were sending it over, so thanks Cooler Master. You guys are awesome. And here is the 200mm fan from Cooler Master. It came stock with the case. We have it on the side panel, and we also sleeved that cable as well, so that's going to serve as an intake fan. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So there you guys got it, the layer 1 cable management of the HAF 922. Stay tuned for more videos. He's actually dropping off his power supply later on today. He got a Corsair, I believe, 1000 watt power supply, modular of course, and he is waiting on his memory that he also ordered. I'm not sure what type of memory he ordered, but he got something. So stay tuned for those additions to this build. Thanks for watching, guys. Six Boy out.